What's up, Internet? We are back with the N64, what is it, 332 in 1 multi-cart flash cart mabob thing. Last time we played a lot of Army Men games, and yeah, those were pretty fun, but they do have that standard N64 issue of camera control kind of being an ass and really, really desperately wanting a second stick to control stuff. Uh, this time we get to do Automobili Lamborghini U something V64. Come on, start. There we go. I keep forgetting that you have to press start to get into a thing, but A to get through another menu, so it's a little weird. I am not terribly familiar with this game. I've played a few racing games on the N64. Racing has never been my genre of choice. I don't know jack about cars. Pretty much in any car game, I like to play the blue car, and that's about the extent I know cars. So, well, that and the Ferrari Testarossa, because that was the car from Outrun, and also the DMC DeLorean, because that was the car from Back to the Future. And that's what I know about cars. But the N64 had a couple really good racing games, mostly the arcade ones. Oh god, it's the Titus logo. This is, not a great sign. I know we're going to play some really, really good racing games before we finish this cartridge, though, so I'm looking forward to that. If we do multiple things tonight, because I am streaming this again just because I want to have more stuff on my stream, because I've been slacking on that, I think we're going to get to do Beetle Adventure Racing, which I'm pretty excited about, because that's one of the better racing games for the system. Diddy Kong Racing, of course, a really good one. Mario Karts, I like Mario Kart, but I think Diddy Kong did it better. And I really just played a lot more Beetle Adventure Racing than I did Mario Kart. I think I knew one person who had Mario Kart, and I played it once through them, but that was sort of it. So I'm not actually all that well-versed in Mario Kart 64. But I do know it's the Mario Kart game that has, like, my favorite track in it. So that's exciting. And that really does speak volumes about how interesting this game is, that I'm trying to talk about any other racing game on the system other than this. In fact, let's take it a step further. I recently just played Panzer Dragoon Saga. I just finished Disc 1. I'm loving it. It's kind of the perfect storm of a game for me, but yeah. That's how into this racing game I am. It's okay. I'm doing rank 5th of 6th. I'm not doing that great, and this control feels very, very chunky. I don't know if I just picked a slow car or something, but it's not an interesting racing game. There's no power-ups or anything. Like, I definitely prefer the arcade-style racing games as opposed to the sort of simulation, and I feel like this is kind of trying to straddle the line a little bit. Like, I feel like it's not trying to be arcadey. There's not really any fun creativity in, like, the stage designs. Like, yeah, this is stage 1, it's boring and stuff, but you know, there doesn't appear to be like power-ups or like anything to speed you along or anything that makes this game interesting. Like I said, I'm more into the arcadey fun style of racing games rather than like the meticulous simulation stuff. So this definitely isn't going to be my sort of thing, really, but so far this game seems more or less just like a really subpar racing game on the system. And this system had quite a few racing games on it. It had the Rush games. It had, what was it, the Cruisin' games. It had tons and tons of stuff. It had Scars. Who remembers Scars? I rented it once and thought it was aggressively average. But this is just, we made a racing engine. It's kind of average. I wouldn't fault people for liking it, I guess, but there just doesn't seem like there's anything really here to grab you, you know? And it doesn't feel like it's trying to be, like, super aggressively simulation either, so I don't think this game would kind of interest, like, simulation enthusiasts. Although, to be fair, simulation games, I think, are kind of immediately no longer attractive to the people who like them pretty much immediately because they're outdated instantly. But then again, as, like, proper, like, official simulation-style games are kind of a unique breed unto their own. You know, that's why you get like a new farm sim every year, because people who are really, really interested in that stuff like the most meticulous details, and the moment it's out of date, you know, it kind of loses its value. Which is why every week it's on sale on the Xbox 360. Because it's like the one thing they can put on sale. Farm Simulator, what was it, 2014 or something like that? So, you know, it's not the best racing game I've played on the N64. It's not even the best racing game I've played in this segment. Seeing as we had that really cool, what was it, Aero Gauge? Also, I looked it up. That game is like $15. Not very expensive. I might have to put that on a watch list for me. That game seemed pretty good. That Aero Borders game, that's a little bit more pricey. I think that's like $75. It's like, ooh, that's unfortunate, because that actually seemed like a cool sports game for me. And that's how interesting this game is, that I'm desperately struggling to find anything to talk about. Alas. After this we get Banjo Kazooie though, so let's look forward to that. I've got anecdotes about that game, because I have history with Banjo. Actually, as all things are cyclical, Banjo, he started life out as a racing character in, what was it, Diddy Kong Racing, along with Conker. This game, it's, probably not a game I would be playing outside of the fact that this segment kind of requires me to, you know? It's like, I have to play this, so I will play this, but if I had any choice in what I was doing, I would not be playing this. I do appreciate that as time stops, you're allowed to continue to go for the checkpoints. That's kind of a neat feature. That's, what was it, Rad Racer let you do that? I kind of appreciate that, as opposed to, you know, time stops, you just stop dead in your tracks, you're done. You know, this is kind of cool. But, yeah, I don't think we're getting to 10 minutes with this game. Maybe I can, if I, Single Race. Let's pick a different track. Let's pick that one. That looks fun. Let's pick a different car that's blue. I think that's the exact car we actually already just drove. What car looks good? We'll pick that one. It's not blue, but that's okay. Maybe the problem is I'm picking an automatic transmission, but, you know, that's just how things are. You know, I pick automatic because I'm not going to deal with not having an automatic. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna crash right into a wall as I ban a bot, because I'm like that. Whoa! Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably because I picked an automatic that I'm just not getting very fast. I mean, I'm literally hammering down the pedal, so unless the AI is just so much better than me. And to be fair, I'm crashing into walls right now, so this isn't a great showing, but for the most part, I'm driving, at least before this, relatively cleanly, and I'm pretty much hammering down the gas. I should not be consistently coming in last, I don't think. Especially because the enemies seem to be running into walls pretty consistently, too. They're not terribly bright AI drivers. I'm not sure if the different cars just come with different stats and the game's just not telling me, but, you know, there's some shenanigans going on right now. Like, I feel like I should be going a lot faster compared to the speed of other people. But maybe this is just a game that has a really aggressive AI, I don't know. I'm not going to say this is a game I'm going to keep my eyes out for, that's for damn sure. But, you know, there's always the next game, which will actually be a fun game. I'm a little bit worried about Banjo, though, because, like I said before, I'm using a new third-party controller, so it's... Whoa! I'm not sure how used to controlling I'm going to be with the entire layout being slightly different, such as, you know, the Z buttons are now basically L and R buttons. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but I think I've got this. Whoop. Can I do better than 4th? Probably not. Will I do better than 4th? Well, we can hope, but I'm not holding my breath. on the upswing. We are getting a little bit more time in on this. Don't pass me, you silly white and blue car. Looks kind of like my brother's car a little bit. Except that these are Lamborghinis, ostensibly. And he drives a Mustang. I'm not pitting. Screw that. I will drive on bald tires if I have to, because I don't care that much. This game hasn't earned pit rights yet. I do like that there's kind of a split in the track, although it's very clear the other route's slightly faster. With the junction into where we are now favoring the latter chunk of this. Also, I don't think there's any actual music here. I'm just hearing car engines, which is always a bad sign. If there is music, it's very low compared to the sound effects, which are just kind of aggressive, which seems to be my word of the day. Whoa. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. How am I still ranked 4th? I'm pretty sure I've been passed a whole bunch. I'm now rank 1. Somehow. Okay. Maybe everyone pitted? Well, that was a special kind of bump. I'm not gonna pit, just on the off chance this might actually mean we win. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see if I can actually scrub out a win in this thing. We're not pitting. I will slide into walls and into victory through sliding into walls if I have to. Whoop! There we go. I do appreciate that, you know, the worn down tires actually do affect your traction. Like, this is really, really slippery right now. Like, that's kind of a nice feature of one thing that seems to be a nice feature in this game. But otherwise, I do not like the sound design in this game. It's not much of a looker. It's pretty boring overall. Again, at least for someone like me who really does appreciate the more arcadey aspects of the racing genre more than anything. This just doesn't seem like my kind of game, I guess. But it's on this cart, so I gotta play it. And it seems like not pitting is the smart thing to do because everyone slows themselves down. Whereas me, I just have to slide into walls and I'm good. Because I'm an expert driver. You can tell I have my license. Actually, more accurately, you can probably tell I choose to walk everywhere instead. We're not pitting. Quit telling me to. I don't think this is like a rally game. You're not some sort of like assistant navigator in the car. So stop telling me what to do, because you don't know the route. I have to follow the magical arrows to know the route. Also, in not listening to your advice of pitting, I'm about to come in first. Which is kind of a very weird message this game sends, is don't follow its advice and you'll do better. Whoa. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're good. We got this. I didn't think I'd play this game for like 15 minutes straight. I didn't expect this to be 6 laps, okay? I apologize. We'll make this work. Alright, whoa. That's fine. That's fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. Woo. No problem. No problem. There's a fuel gauge? Where? Where is this fuel gauge? What are you talking about? Fuel's low. What? Game, you're not making sense. There's no fuel gauge anywhere. I'm actively scanning my entire HUD here. You're not displaying any sort of fuel gauge. Which means you're just making stuff up because you're annoyed I'm not pitting. and I'm still going to come in first by not paying attention to you. Which is, again, a beautiful message this game has. Don't pay attention to us, and you'll do A-okay. Because I came in first. Nice. Alright. Reset. Let's play a good game. A game that will actually be good for me, at least. Okay, we gotta go to Banjo Kazooie. Hell yeah. Now, I have history with this game because, fun story, this was my very first N64 game. Yeah. This was the very first N64 game I ever got. I remember the day I got it. I was in a Toys R Us, and my parents bought me an N64, and I had 2 games in my hand. In one hand, my right hand, I had Banjo Kazooie, and in my left hand, I had Bomberman 64, and I decided Banjo Kazooie. And I honestly think that was the right decision. Unfortunately, someone took it and never gave it back, so it's nice I can play it like this. Although it is also on the Xbox 360, which, all things being cyclical, was also my first Xbox 360 game. Because it was on sale the week I got my Xbox 360, and I saw that on the marketplace. I was like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to buy that. That'll be fun. And that was a version that had some updated stuff. It fixed 1 or 2 things. But, you know, any way you can play Banjo Kazooie is a good way to play Banjo Kazooie, basically. And this is, of course, rare on the N64, which was, I'd sometimes want to say, probably their best point. Although I'm hesitant to, because the Donkey Kong Country trilogy on the Super Nintendo was really, really damn good. As much as I know people love to dump on Donkey Kong Country 3, or Donkey Kong Country 3, I still think it's an excellent game and a lot better than people give it credit for. But, yeah. This is why we're playing in increments of 10 minutes, so we can get the starting plot of the game. So that, you know, we get the important lore of why Gruntilla Winkeybottom is desperately trying to kidnap Banjo's little sister. To make herself sexy, basically. I love this game. This game is awesome. When I was a kid, I never actually managed to complete this game, though. I could not beat the penultimate challenge, which was like this game show thing, which I was really, really bad at, because one of the aspects of it was to answer semi-randomized trivia. I never paid attention to any of that, so I kind of screwed that up really, really badly. And there was 2 collectibles I missed. One was a quest to beat a minigame by eating a whole bunch of things as a crocodile, and the other was to get a collectible that was hidden behind the propeller fans of a boat, which is more than a little dangerous. But, you know, its fun story also is, this game was part of the reason that I first started really noticing developers. Because this game, in its second level, features a shark. And anytime you go in the water, the shark will just spawn and chase you, and it's basically invulnerable. Like, you can kind of kill it, but it comes back basically instantly. And what's really great is the third level features a giant shark that you're supposed to be friends with, which is more than a little bit of mixed messages and terrified the crap out of me when I was a kid. But later on, Rare would go on to make Donkey Kong 64, and there was a level that was basically entirely in water. And I remember thinking, oh, that shark's in there. I know it. I know that shark is in there. I don't want to be here. The funny thing is, this game also gets a direct sequel that has a level that's basically entirely in water, and I thought the exact same damn thing. The shark from this game, it terrified the ever-living pants off me. Sharks are scary, is the short version of this. Also, Rare made a really, really good game. We'll probably only get to do the tutorial here, but that's okay. This is Bottles, the short-sighted mole. He's very short-sighted in that he doesn't think to get out of the way when anything comes out his way. As we'll see in the sequel that we'll get to play shortly after. So spoilers! Spoilers for both the end of this game and the sequel. But this game ends at one point and there's a sequel that's made. And it's a continuation, so there might be plot points that are spoiled. But I quite like Banjo Kazooie. I'm quite fond of it. It's got some very, very nostalgic moments for me. I have not played this game in forever. I really should play this game again. So anyway, we got to talk to Bottles to get all our special abilities, because right now this is pretty much everything we can do. Which is, I mean, you know, short leaps, useful, but not going to get us through the game. So let's get some new moves. Alright, camera. It's on C buttons. I'm actually kind of surprised this controller doesn't put the C buttons on a stick, honestly. It might be better that it doesn't, though, because you still get the precision of the buttons. Whereas if you were to use, say, like a GameCube controller C stick, like the N64 emulation on a Wii, there's a lot of impreciseness with that. Alright, I believe this is the actual jumping tutorial. Let's do some jumping. Let's get our jumps on. Yes, it really could. Alright, we get a bigger jump. That's actually useful. I don't know why they ever bothered giving you that crappy short jump. It seems kind of pointless. And now we get actually good jumpings. And kind of a glidey thing. This game has excellent peak writing. Now let's see, I believe that's what we're looking for. We got our jumps on. Woo! It's got an excellent soundtrack, it's got fun mechanics. This game is just... You know, I don't think I could think of many other N64 games I would want to be my first N64 game. This game is just a great starter game, I think. We'll get wet. We don't want to get wet. So pretty much everything here has a chance of, well, provided you want to actually utilize what they're teaching you and explore slightly, you'll get a chunk of a permanent health upgrade. Like this one. There we go. I quite like this game. Maybe I'll do a full playthrough of this sometime. Maybe that'll be one of the next things I do. Now, if I recall, there's something up this tree. Although I don't think I can climb trees yet. I think that's another move I gotta learn. But, what I can do, because I've got my jumps, is go this way. Hooray for jumps. And I could have gotten that life, but it doesn't matter much. I mean, arguably none of this matters, but it's fun to explore this game a lot. You know, Rare made a lot of really good N64 games, and they really did thrive on the collectathons. The sequel to this has even more stuff to collect, and it was, in some ways, better, in some ways, worse. I have trouble really thinking about whether or not I actually think Banjo Tooie is better than Kazooie, just because they kind of, in taking away the simplicity the first game had by adding a whole bunch of stuff, you kind of take away the, what's the words I want to say? Talking's hard. When you add complexity, you take away the simplicity, which sounds very, very obvious, but it also basically, I think, makes it slightly less of a classic. It makes it less easy to pick up and play, and more... It might be a better game in the long run, but it's less of an instant classic, is what I want to say. In a whole lot of words, because talking is very hard. This is a move... you don't use really much at all, I don't think. 'Cause there's a lot of other moves you could use than this. And the fact that you have to kind of stop to use it, it's not a commonly used move, at least in my experience playing this game. It's kind of one that just exists and then you stop using it very quickly. So, theoretically, they could even simplify the control scheme even more, having to remove some of these abilities. You can punch things. Again, a move you probably won't be using too much because it is kind of slow. You're gonna have to appreciate how the characters are written and like how they bounce off each other. Like, character interaction was really, really heavily thought of, and their personality was heavily thought of, and how they bounce off each other in their dialogue. Well, fortunately, you will get a move, and you get, like, the actual good melee move. So that's something. I think I just gotta try this again. I'm in the hole. Yes, I want to fly now. You won't get to do that till level 2, Kazooie. And we aren't going there. We're not even going to get to go to level 1. There's a better melee move, because you get to keep moving, because movement mechanics are fun. Whereas a slow little punch thing is useless. Rolling! Alright. This is an even better move. This is probably like the best move, melee-wise. Again, I like the attacks that let you keep moving. It's... There we go. Plus, now we got a full extra health. Hooray for us. So let's go do this. We gotta get to Spiral Mountain. Oh, except now there's actual enemies around here. Puddles! You released the horde. I don't appreciate that, you silly mole. But I will smack this cauliflower because cauliflower is gross. I don't mind broccoli as much, except it gives me heartburn. But I don't like cauliflower at all. But I'm also a ridiculously picky eater, so you know. I think there's one move that could have been added to the tutorial, and that's like the Talon Trot, just because it's again, heavy movement stuff. But, you know, they could have simplified the stuff they teach in the first stage. But overall, it's a pretty good tutorial, you know, I think. But, you know, that's my first N64 game. And while I don't own it anymore, I really wish I did. But I've got this, so this works so well. Alright. But, now that we've gotten to explore Banjo Kazooie, I get to play the sequel, Banjo Tooie. And basically get to have more or less the same tutorial again, but with more stuff. And we get to see how short-sighted Bottles the Mole actually is. Which, spoilers, is very... I don't know what that is. Huh. I think this is a slightly modified version. That's interesting. Pirate carts. You never know what you're going to get with them, I guess. Alright, well, Banjo Tooie. It's a game. I like it. I own it. I think I like the first game better, just because, again, it's easier to pick up and play because of how simple it is. But I can skip the opening, which is nice. So we won't spoil too much, except Bottles is dead, by the way, spoilers. Also, there was a version of this where Bottles could be controlled by player 2 as like an evil, vindictive thing that was trying to kill you. And everything's sad now because we were actually attacked by Gruntilda's sisters. And everything is just the happy-go-lucky, magical Spiral Mountain is now, in fact, very tragical. Also Klungo. Gotta love good old Klungo. He had a fun little minigame in the sequel this game got on the Xbox 360 that was about badly designed, ill-conceived cars. We could do this tutorial if we wanted. We don't really need to, and I don't really want to, because it just teaches you the advanced stuff from the previous game. Because this game actually lets you keep your power-ups from the previous game and all your abilities. Well, most of them anyway. I think there's one or two that maybe didn't carry, but it's been a while since I've played this game. Fun fact, I have not 100% this game either. I have beaten this game, though. I am missing one thing. I played it on the Xbox 360 version, because when I finished Banjo Kazooie on that version, I then wanted to get this version on there. And there's actually a lot of really cool stuff added on too. So ostensibly the 360 versions of Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie are now the definitive versions, and you can get them on Rare Replay, which is an excellent little compilation for like $30, and you get 30 games. Seriously, Rare Replay. If you get an Xbox One, you better own it because it's absolutely worth the money. But I did not 100% the 360 version of it, because there's like one thing you have to do that's just button mashing, and I lack the dexterity to do it properly, and you have to button mash for like something like 5 minutes straight. It's just absurd and it's bad, and I just was not going to do it. It's nice that that doesn't actually hurt you at all. They were nice for the tutorial boss. I like Klungo. Also, yes, I have played the Lego Cars game. It's not so good. Actually, if you want to play a good sequel to this game, go play the Game Boy Advance Banjo Kazooie game, which I think was called Grunty's Revenge. That game was actually legit. I haven't played a lot of it, but it was weird because it was like a top-down game, but damn if that's not a good Banjo sequel. I kind of wonder if they're ever going to make another Banjo game. I mean, you know, ostensibly Ukulele kind of fills that void as much as people often like to absolutely hate on Ukulele. I think that game was... It wasn't great. It was average. It had some issues. And, you know, certainly some problems. But I thought Ukulele was fine for what it was. You know? Also, this is the move they needed to absolutely teach you in the tutorial of the previous game, but they didn't. It lets you run faster! And once you have that move, you basically are never not using it. And this is why Banjo's lazy. He makes Kazooie do everything. Look! All the collectibles! And these are just the ones from the previous game. Like I said, they really wanted to ramp up the collectibles in this game. Like, a lot. Roll. But you know, if you liked Banjo Kazooie, you'll probably like Banjo Tooie. They went with more complex level concepts than the previous game. I still don't think this is like the best platformer on the N64. I do like Banjo a lot more than I like Mario 64, which might be a bit of a hot take. I prefer the writing and the clever characters. I prefer the more complex ideas of the stages than Mario 64's very basic level concepts, and the fact that they reuse a couple of levels. Like they have like 2-3 water levels, including one that's like unfinished. They have 2 ice levels. I just feel like Mario 64 could have been a lot more than it was. It's not a bad game by any means. It's a classic, but I don't think it deserves the title of Best 3D Platformer on the N64. It's definitely one of the best, and this is a platform that has a lot of really, really bad platformers, so, you know, it's good to know there are some really actually good ones on there, but I don't think it's the best one. And I don't think Banjo is either, but I think it's closer to that title. This is a nice guy. Nothing ever bad will happen to this guy. Ever. Whatsoever. He's a great guy. Good old King Jimmy Wiggy, or whatever his name is. You can tell that by remembering his name, he's definitely important, and we'll be interacting with him tons. So that's the poor dead mole's family that doesn't know he's dead. And throughout the game, we will be not telling them that their father is dead. In fact, we actively go out of our way to lie to them about it, which is interesting, ethically, I suppose. We have interesting characters to work with. I like Kazooie. She's got spunk. Oh no, something bad is about to happen. Oh no, something bad happened in cutscene that I chose not to watch. Something could not have possibly... Oh no, he's a zombie. And here I thought nothing bad could ever happen to this guy. Also, his pet is horribly dead Ash. Also, we can't do anything to him. He can attack us, though. Because fairness. Actually, he's a boss later, because spoilers. I like this game a lot, though. You know, I think Banjo in any form except maybe the Lego Cars form was good Banjo. Lego Cars maybe not so much. That was an idea that felt just unfinished. That felt like a game that didn't involve Banjo at all, and they just slapped his name on it just so like fans of Banjo would sort of flock to it. And you know, all things considered, it worked. I'm bitter about that. When I got my Xbox 360, that was a game I was excited about. It's like, wow, a new Banjo game? Hell yeah. But, man, that was more than a little disappointing is probably the best way of putting it. I don't remember what's up that route. But either way, got a little molehill inside of a cave. It's a nice place to put your molehill. Let's ignore the family. Because that's what you do with family. You mostly ignore them. Also, Jet Force Gemini reference. Because Rare. They made that game. Also on Rare Replay. Maybe don't play the N64 version. I have the N64 version. It's fine, I guess. But like a lot of N64 things, it had some weird camera stuff. And it was just begging for a second control stick. The 360, the Xbox One version through Rare Replay actually fixed that problem. They actually actively put in a second control stick control, and it played infinitely better because of it. Although I will say, the requirements for unlocking the final boss in that game are dumb, and the final boss in that game is dumb. But Jet Force Gemini otherwise is a really, really fun game. But, like I said, I think the N64 was kind of Rare's golden age. They made, I think, a total of one game I dislike on the system. Just collect gold jigsaw pieces. I get it. I have one. You know, that's something worth knowing. You know, if all my abilities carried over from the previous game, what about all the jigsaw pieces I collected? Like, yeah, we used them, but I should have been able to go back and reclaim them, I think. Sure, it would have relocked all the unlocked doors, but, you know, I'm done with that place. Why not? And they're made of gold. Why not? Just, you know, turn around, sell them. I just wanted to do this little puzzle before we move on, honestly. I thought this would be a fun little thing to do. Because Banjo likes its moving puzzles. B, that's the button, not A. Alright, let's go. Let's do a moving puzzle thing. There was a Super Nintendo game that was like this. I can't think of what it was called, but... In fact, I actually think there was like 2 or 3 N64 games that were like this, or N64 Super Nintendo games, where you had a puzzle that you had to complete, but the puzzle itself was moving. So fitting the image together actually required a lot of sort of spatial awareness. I think one of those games is called Pieces, but there we go. We've completed the puzzle. In the previous game, this would unlock a stage, as it does here, but it would have also given us bonus secret stuff, because the first game had a lot of bonus secret stuff. But good game, good game. Not sure I like it better than the previous game, though, but I do like that game. Next we have Bassmasters Guitars 2000, where we're apparently going to play some bass guitars. I am not a musician at all, so we're doomed, is the short version of this. Also, it might be bass. We'll play without saving. I don't feel the need to save this, thank you. I think that purple elephant might be the best part of this. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Sure. Alright, let's, fishing. Let's figure out how to do this properly. Oh, hey, underwater view. It's just like playing 7th Cross Evolution all over again. Who remembers 7th Cross Evolution? I do. It's sad. It's really sad that I remember that game. I don't think I'm actually close to anything, so let's pull this back in. This is a game we're playing. Oh my god. So we're back to simulation nonsense. Hey, simulation, my bobs. Okay. So let's try catching a fish. There's basically no sound in this. It's underwater, so I guess that's understandable, but man, this is exactly what this is. You know, it's weird, because I think I've played a really absurd number of fishing games. Because when I was a kid, my only access to a Super Nintendo was through a family friend, and like the only game they had for it was bass fishing. Oh god, I played a lot of fishing games, and I wonder if I can catch that tree. Let's see if we can catch the tree. If I want to play a fun fishing game on this, I will play Ocarina of Time fishing. You can at least catch someone's hat in that game. That was fun. This is, well, it's exactly what it is, which is, I think it's probably supposed to be, like, simulation. And as I've said before, simulations kind of lose their value the moment they're out, because they're kind of no longer accurate to the simulation aspects. I mean, fish are always going to be fish, but there's always going to be a more accurate simulation, which dates this one immediately. You know? But Zelda fishing was legit. Hell, Animal Crossing fishing is legit, and that was on the N64. I wonder if this cartridge has Animal Crossing on it. That's something worth knowing. Well, this is basically this. I think we've seen enough. It ain't going to get more exciting than that. I'm fairly confident in that statement. Alright, so finally we have Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. I watched a little bit of Batman Beyond back in the day. Although I watched more of its weird spin-off, the Zeta Project, which starred the villain from one episode of Batman Beyond. That's what I remember about this. Also, it's Warner Brothers, which means there's a good chance this video is going to get immediately demonetized. Check out my Patreon so that I at least make some money off this work, please. Alright. We can pick our Batman. The standard, the offensive, the defensive. Who plays defensive? Honestly. Nimble. I do like the fast characters. Magnetic, Nunchaku. Nunchaku were such dumb weapons. Rolling kick special button. I think we're gonna play Nimble. I believe this is a beat 'em up from what I remember. I tend to play the faster characters in beat 'em ups and fighting games. So let's go. Let's beat some dudes up. That person is a hyena. It may have been a while since I've last seen Batman Beyond. I knew it starred Will Friedle. That's what I remember about Batman Beyond. How do I want to door. Alright, we got a key. Now can I door? Yes, okay. So interacting with stuff is the punch stuff button. Got it. Punch enemies, also for keys. Well, okay. You know, an arrow in the corner works just as well as telling me to play on. Quoting Wayne's World does not make this game good, game. Ow. Why is there a crouch button? What does that do for me? There's a roll out of the way button, but it's slower than just walking out of the way. Let's see. C up doesn't seem to do anything. I'll grab that. So there's crouch, there's this sort of awkward, I'm desperately trying to be like Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 side cartwheel thing. I don't know where I'm getting this information from, but thank you, random person who decided to talk to me when I open a door. Good thing I can see what I'm doing. Ow. I do appreciate that the face in the corner of Batman is, seems to change with his health. That's kind of cool. But combat so far seems like basically one button for punch, one button for kick, and that's kind of your lot. There doesn't seem to be any, like, real strategic choice in it. Oh, there is a block. It's set to the Z button. Hey, jumping! This game's got jumps. And that's set to the L and R buttons, I guess? But the actual beat 'em up process seems to be fairly I don't want to say nonsensical, but not terribly interesting. Why? Okay, hold on. Wait, what? Okay. So, why do we need to jump that high? And it doesn't go very far. It's like all height, no distance, which is not great. Come on, health. I like the terrified Batman in the corner. Now it's just grimacing Batman. So, basic Batman. Roar, I'm Batman. I'm grimacing at you. Punch, 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 punch. Now I'm terrified Batman. Now I'm angry Batman. I got the key. I might need more keys. Better beat everything up. You know, it was a really good beat 'em up for this time on the Sega Saturn. It was Die Hard Arcade. That was a really good game. Didn't really have any actual like die hardness to it, but they claimed it did, and it was good. Had lots of weapons and things to keep it interesting. This is kind of about as basic as you get for a beat 'em up. Really. Okay, so that just leads back to the previous room. Why am I getting like this weird exposition every time I leave rooms? I do not understand the logic to this. I'm not complaining, I just think it's kind of weird. Holy cow, Batman, it's Batman. You can try and take care of him. I'm Batman. I don't think you're going to actually get to do that, though. I will just try and stop you. You know what this game is missing right now? It's absolutely missing comical onomatopoeia describing how hard we're hitting the enemies. I think this game desperately needs the onomatopoeias that make basically zero sense to tell me how much I'm hurting my opponent right now. Kick, kick, kick. Hey, I came back. Oh, you lost. Run away! And that's the story of how Batman Batmaned. Because Batman does that thing. Also plot. Plot, plot, plot. Also, we're spelling Joker with a Z now, because of course we are. It's been forever since I've seen this cartoon. Maybe I should go back and watch it. I watched the Zeta Project recently for some reason. I don't even remember why I watched it. It's just like, I vaguely remember that weird spin-off of that Batman thing being kind of good. Maybe I'll go back and watch that. But, I don't feel a need to watch Batman Beyond again. But maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But that game was a terribly average beat-em-up. So, out of the past 5 games, let's take a look. Lamborghini Automobili. It features the Titus logo. That should tell you pretty much everything you need to know about how good this game is. Banjo Kazooie's awesome. It's made by Rare. Of course it's awesome. Banjo Tooie. It had a weird splash screen that I'm not sure what that was about. But it's a game by Rare. So again, it's going to be awesome. Bassmasters Guitar Fishing 2000 is... ugh. And Batman Beyond is about as average as you can get. Based on these past 5 games, would I recommend this cartridge? Well, I really do like Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. However, Lamborghini Automobili is not very good. Bass Guitar Fishing is really out of date and probably not going to appeal to the people it was designed to appeal to. And Batman Beyond is, I'm not even sure I'd say it's worth it for fans of this series because it's really just about as subpar beat 'em up as you can get. But you do have 2 Rare games. I'm going to give it even odds whether or not I'd recommend it. Sort of. It's got 2 really, really good games. 3 games you could pass on pretty quick. But that has been the past 5 games on this cartridge. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the stream to know we go live, because we try and stream as often as we can, usually about 3 times a week, although I guess I'm maybe adding this to the regular schedule. We'll see. You might also want to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is where I assume most people are going to be watching this. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can continue to do what I do to the best of my ability, which is play some jank games, some good games, and some Batman games that probably will get my video demonetized instantly because soundtrack and copyright and stuff. So that's fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time where we'll take a look at Battle Tanks, Tanks Global Assault, and an actual tanks game that I actually know, which is Battlezone. I reviewed that a while back. Good game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, Internet.